Global politics and security. The Middle East remains on edge as international concern grows over a possible U.S. military strike against Iran, with tensions intensifying nearly a month after widespread protests in the country first erupted. The European Union has officially designated Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, as a terrorist organization, announcing sanctions on key officials and organizations as part of renewed pressure on Tehran amid regional unrest. Vietnam and the European Union have upgraded their relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership, reflecting shifting global trade dynamics as tariffs reshape markets and diplomatic priorities. U.S. President Donald Trump has reiterated hardline rhetoric toward Iran, warning of a substantially stronger military response unless diplomatic negotiations yield results, signaling rising risk of conflict. International leaders gathered at a high-level summit to discuss climate change, security, and global economic cooperation, with renewed commitments to emissions reduction and sustainable development goals. Biman Bangladesh Airlines has resumed direct flights between Raqqa and Karachi after more than a decade, marking a significant step in regional diplomatic and transportation ties. France's National Assembly has approved a bill to ban children under the age of 15 from social media platforms, moving to address concerns about youth mental health and online safety. United States, national news and politics. Federal agents continue to be a major story in Minneapolis after another fatal shooting, with protests escalating and law enforcement facing sharp criticism over conduct during immigration enforcement operations. 2 federal agents involved in the Minneapolis shooting have been placed on administrative leave, as federal authorities conduct investigations amid broad public scrutiny. The U.S. faces a looming federal government shutdown threat as negotiations over Department of Homeland Security funding intensify, particularly around immigration enforcement funding. National political backlash continues in Minnesota, with state leaders pledging to address unprofessional law enforcement behavior and political rivals pushing for wider reforms. Marco Rubio defended U.S. military operations in Venezuela, reinforcing Republican foreign policy priorities even as global tensions rise. Business, markets, and economy. U.S. stock futures edged slightly higher as investors digested earnings reports from major tech companies, with Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft beating expectations, though weakness in some sectors persists. Gold prices surged past historic levels due to geopolitical uncertainty, reinforcing safe haven demand amid regional tensions and economic volatility. SK Hynix reported a dramatic increase in profits and revenue, driven by strong demand for advanced AI memory chips, reflecting the major role of semiconductor markets in global tech growth. German corporate investment in China reached a multi-year high, signaling shifting global corporate strategies amid geopolitical challenges and tariff pressures. Blackstone Incorporated is nearing a deal to become the largest shareholder in New World Development Co., a major real estate investment move with implications for global property markets. India's Sensex and Nifty indices rebounded strongly, with Sensex gaining more than 220 points and Nifty closing above 25,400, driven by renewed investor confidence and economic survey optimism. India, national and policy developments. India tabled its Economic Survey 2025-26 in Parliament, highlighting agriculture's crucial role, robust export growth, and a dramatic rise in global innovation rankings for the country. The Supreme Court of India placed the new UGC equity regulations on hold, reflecting judicial intervention in educational policy and reservation debates. The Indian Navy was adjudged the best marching contingent at the Republic Day Parade, underscoring the nation's pride in military ceremonial excellence. Niti Aayog released 3 reports aimed at boosting India's circular economy across end-of-life vehicles, waste tires, and lithium-ion batteries, signaling a policy push for sustainability. India's renewable energy capacity has grown ahead of schedule, as the country achieves 50% non-fossil fuel electricity capacity well before its 2030 target, earning international recognition. ISRO is preparing for the upcoming INGSAT-3DS satellite launch, aimed at enhancing weather forecasting and meteorological research for the region. International affairs and society. Spain announced legal amnesty for nearly 500,000 undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers, offering residency and work permissions under new reforms. Extreme cold weather across the United States has already been linked to dozens of confirmed deaths, highlighting the deadly impact of winter storms on vulnerable populations. Global leaders agreed that nuclear risks, climate change, AI threats, and biological security must be urgently addressed as the doomsday clock is set to just 85 seconds to midnight, emphasizing existential global risks. Russia launched a new wave of drone and missile attacks on Ukrainian cities, resulting in civilian casualties and raising concerns about escalating conflict ahead of planned peace talks. Airport health authorities in Southeast Asia expanded screenings for the Nipah virus, aiming to enhance preparedness against potential outbreaks as cross-border travel grows. Education costs and infrastructure challenges rose sharply in Malaysia, with classroom construction costs more than doubling over the past 5 years, reflecting regional economic pressures.